What's going on, you gamblers? Welcome back to Punters Playbook. Man, there's a lot of punting to be done today, alright? We got a lot of punting to do. Because it's Magic Round, baby. Yeah, it's that time of the year. It's round 9. It's Magic Round, okay? We're going to get up this weekend because as the round entails, it is Magic, alright? So big things are going to happen for you guys, I promise, right? Kick it off. We're going to do Tippers Playbook, right? Tippers Playbook. So we're going to put my tips in really quick. I'm going to rapid fire these, and then I'm going to drop back through, and I'm going to give some reasons as to, why and how I picked who I picked, all right? All right, kicking it off. I've got Parramatta, Dolphins, South Sydney, Warriors, Dragons, Bulldogs, Penrith, and Canberra. Okay? Kicking us off, Cronulla versus Parramatta. I just think that Parramatta... I always tend to pick against Cronulla because I'm not a Cronulla guy. I don't like Cronulla. But I do have reasoning for why I'm picking Parramatta, alright? I think they were the little guys. They were getting beat up there for a while. And as good as Cronulla are, they just lost to the Tigers. And I do see Cronulla as a side that'll lose 2 in a row. Alright? Cronulla's the type of team that'll probably beat your favourite team one week and then go on to lose to consecutive losses to the Tigers and Parramatta, right? But all that aside, I think Mitchell Moses might be firing. I think he's going to be a little bit consistent, and I think he's probably going to get a win for his team over Cronulla. All right, simple as that. I think he's probably going to beat Cronulla. This is the Mitchell Moses show. I don't know. I just seen a lot of heart, a lot of dog out of the Parramatta Eels in that West Tigers game, and if Lomax is back. I'm not sure, I haven't checked team list. But if Lomax is back, that's pretty big. I don't think he is, actually. I don't think Lomax is back. So, but anyway. I'm picking Para here, guys. I could be wrong. Up next, Roosters Dolphins. I'm picking the Dolphins here. It's almost a pick 'em this game. It's a hard one to pick without any sort of betting odds. It's still hard to pick. The Dolphins are firing. I guess they just did lose to the Canberra Raiders, but Canberra Raiders are number 3 ranked. And then, the Roosters just got a big win and looked like they might be playing a different style of footy. Might be a bit of a different team. But that's what I also thought when the Roosters beat Penrith and when the Roosters beat the Broncos and then they lost after that. So I'm going to take the Dolphins here. I think if the Dolphins can put it on them early, the Dolphins will beat them. But just something to look at. The Roosters do play well at Suncorp. Rabbitohs versus Knights. I'm picking the Rabbitohs here because it's my team, it's my club, it's rugby league, it's simple. And I just think the Newcastle Knights suck. I've got a weird feeling that the Newcastle Knights might upset us. For some reason on Neds, it says that they're the betting favourite, which scares me. The bookies know something I don't. Right? But I'm going to take South Sydney here. It's Wayne Bennett, okay? Dry Gray's back at fullback. Yeah, we're missing Latrell. But I think we're capable enough to get a win over Newcastle at Magic Round. The Warriors to beat the Cowboys. This is another hard game to pick, all right? The betting odds here, okay? I don't think they're telling the truth because here's the thing, guys. The Cows are looking really good. The Cows are playing really good footy. Sorry, I just had to take a minute to look at my board. The Cows are playing really good footy. They're firing, all right? But I think that can all come crashing down in an instant. Because they did have 18 points put on them last week. Or 16 or something. Whatever. There was a flurry there where you thought, oh, my Cows are out of this. And I think if that happens to you against a team like the Wires, because the Wires have showed really good defense, guys. So I feel like the Cowboys just won't be able to mount a comeback if they fall behind. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for. But I'm pretty sure Cowboys have quite a good win record over the Warriors in Queensland. So, don't know. But the Warriors, I'm pretty confident the Warriors can get this one done. I could be wrong. This one and the Roosters-Dolphins game are really hard ones. This Magic Round has not disappointed. The games haven't even started, and we've already got great games. Tigers versus Dragons. This is a hard one. Tigers are firing. Tigers are playing good footy. They just won. They've won a great game against Cronulla. But the Dragons, They won 3 on the trot. You know, they look pretty good here and there. They got a new halfback. Is he better than Ilias? Like, a lot of questions, guys. A lot of questions. So, yeah, I picked the Dragons just solely because they're unpredictable. And, yeah, unpredictable, right? Unpredictable. Titans, Bulldogs. This one's pretty easy. The Bulldogs, really good defense, okay? I think it might just shut out like the Titans sort of unpredictable offense. I think the Bulldogs will probably shut them out defensively, but, you know, you never know when it comes to the Gold Coast Titans. 1 minute they're up 18-0 at first half, and then they've lost 40. 40 points stacked on them. It's like that. Penrith versus Broncos. Yeah, the smart thing to do would be pick the Broncos here, because the Broncos just won last weekend. But are the Broncos back? Are they a win-lose club? Are they going to be this win one, lose one club? Can't win 2 games back to back? That's what it's starting to look like. If there's a time for them to beat Penrith, it's now. Okay? And if they beat Penrith, the list of teams that have beat them just keeps climbing. But I think Jenkins is out. Okay? Scott Sorensen's back there. Not Scott Sorensen. Liam Garner or something. I don't know. He was playing in the second row. Right? But now he's at the back. So, anyway. Penrith, I think, could do it. Right? I think they honestly could do it. If there's a team that could, it's them. Yes, they're sitting at the bottom of the ladder. Yes, I probably sound really dumb. But, I don't know. They have the stars. Something needs to happen for them. So, I think this is their game to win. Melbourne Storm versus Canberra Raiders. Smart thing to do would be to pick Melbourne. Okay, I'm wearing a Melbourne jersey here and all. But I honestly think Canberra are probably going to be able to do this one, guys. I honestly think Canberra are probably going to be able to do it. Hard, rough game of footy. It'll be a tight scoreline. Hopefully. But then again, Melbourne Storm, they score tries. And Canberra tend to concede them. 18-0, 18-6 or whatever in that last week. So, yeah. That's my tips. That's Tippers Playbook, okay? Now to get into the juicy stuff. Why everyone's here, Punters Playbook. We're going to go through now, and I'm going to give you my bets, and I'm going to tell you who's going to win from a punting perspective, from a punter's point of view. So kicking us off with the Cronulla versus Parramatta game. A few stats I want to run you guys through. Yes, last week we came hard with stats. This week I've gone semi-hard, if not harder. Pause. So, Iro for the Sharks is back. He's back in the centres, so I've got him. This is it. Iro has scored a try, at least one try. He scored at least one try in 7 of his last 8 appearances with Cronulla as a favourite. Kind of butchered that, okay? But we got there in the end. So he scored one try. He scored at least one try in 8 appearances, 7 and 8 appearances. I keep butchering it. Okay, he scored one try in at least one try in 7 of 8 Cronulla's appearances as a favourite. So that's that's big. That's big. So yeah, huge. Whoa. Next up, each of Parramatta's last 5 matches at Suncorp Stadium have gone over the total match points line. So probably be looking to put that into overs. In 4 of Cronulla's last 5 matches at Suncorp Stadium, the opposition starting left centre has scored at least 1 try. So, yeah. And then Nakura has scored at least 1 try in 5 of Cronulla's last 6 interstate matches. So there's a few stats there, guys. Yeah, I kind of butchered that first stat. Sorry about that one, guys. We're just warming up here. Fighting Field Insights, Punters Playbook here on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We're going to make mistakes, right? Get used to it. My multi for this game, pretty simple. I'm taking Hero on his returning game. I don't know if I'm saying that right, guys. Okay. I'm not the king of pronunciation. I am the king of... king of punting is probably not the best thing to say. But, yeah, we're king of something here. We're king of Fighting Field Insights. So I'm going to Era to score at any time. I'm going Addo Carr to score at any time because Addo Carr is paying $2, which is it's great value for a winger who scores tries. And then I'm going overs. So nice simple one, 2 anytime try scorers, and we're going to head for the overs. Next up, Dolphins versus Roosters. Stats. The Dolphins have won 4 of their last 5 matches at Suncorp Stadium. You know, granted, it's the Dolphins in that. 8 of the Dolphins' last 10 matches have gone under the total match points line. So, you know, look to dabble in some unders in this one. Angus Crichton has scored at least 1 try in 3 of Sydney's last 4 matches at Suncorp Stadium. At least 1 try in 3 of 4 of the Roosters' last 4 matches at Suncorp Stadium. That's good value for an Angus Crichton to score. Okay, Lemi Eliu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, guys. You know, butcher me in the comments down below. Has scored a try in 3 of the Dolphins' last 4 matches. Back to back, baby. And then Jake Averillo has scored at least 1 try in 4 of the Dolphins' last 5 matches at Suncorp Stadium. So yeah, there's some pretty interesting stats, guys. I like this game a lot. But I haven't tilted towards any winners in this game. I've only looked for anytime try scorers just because of how much of a pick'em it is. I'm going Robert Toya anytime, Jake Averillo anytime, and Lemi Eliu at any time. All right, 3 anytime try scorers, and we like that. Okay, I don't want to pick too many. I don't want to pick a winner for this game because I think it could go either way. If the score gets out of hand too much for one side, it will go a certain way. So yeah, up next, Rabbitohs versus Knights. Stats, please. South Sydney has won 7 of its last 8 matches against opponents that were ranked in the bottom 4. Each of South Sydney's last 8 matches have gone under the total match points line, and Newcastle has lost their first half in each of the last 5 matches. I butchered that one, sorry guys. Newcastle has lost each of their last 5 matches by a margin of 13 points plus. Bradman Best has scored a try in 4 of his 5 previous appearances against South Sydney, and Jai Gray has scored a try in 6 of South Sydney's last 7 matches against opponents that were ranked lower on the ladder. That was a lot to get out, guys. There was a lot of stats there. I probably went overboard with the stats, but it's my team, and I wanted to throw in a fair few good ones there, guys. So, what are we looking at? Jai Gray. He scores tries, all right? We know Jai Gray scores tries. And I think against Newcastle, he's probably likely to get a try in. Bradman Best hasn't scored a try in a long time. And a lot of people have probably been saying, you know, let's just forget about Bradman Best. But I think there's still a good chance that Bradman Best can score in this game. What is that? 4 of his last 5 matches against South Sydney scored. So, and I'm a big believer in omens, okay? So I believe when someone's scoring that many tries against one team, they're probably going to do it again, guys. And then, Newcastle, losing by 13 plus. But the Rabbitohs are staying in unders territory. So that's a bit of a confliction there, and you could go either way with that one. My multi for the game, guys, I've got Rabbitohs to win the first half. Marju at any time, and Kalamatangi at any time, okay? I'm taking the big fella. We haven't seen him cross over the line in a while. I think Newcastle's defense is going to let him down when Kalamatangi's 10 metres out from the line, and, there's a bit of a ball out the back, and he just pushes himself over, right? So that's the multi for that game, guys. The Wars versus the Cowboys. Stats, please. North Queensland has won each of their last 5 matches against teams that are on a winning streak. So, it's a bit of a niche stat. 4 of New Zealand's last 5 matches in Australia have gone over the total match points line. Bit of an Australia bet. The Warriors have lost their last 5... The Warriors have lost the first half in each of their last 10 matches at Suncorp Stadium. Luke Metcalf has scored a try in each of New Zealand's last 5 matches against opponents that were ranked in the top 8. Leka Halasima has scored a try in each of New Zealand's last 3 matches against opponents that were ranked in the top 8. So both of them, you could probably chuck them in a multi together. Scott Drinkwater has scored a try in 3 of North Queensland's last 4 night matches against the Warriors. I like that one. That's a big omen. And then Rocco Berry has scored at least one try in each of his 2 previous appearances against North Queensland. So, yeah. There's some cool stats. Once again, I went a little bit overboard on that one. These are 2 games that I'm very invested in, so I went a little bit overboard on the stats on this one. The multi for this one, guys, I'm going Murray Talangi anytime, Rocco Berry anytime, and Metcalf anytime. So, 3 try scorers, no winners. Up next, Tigers Dragons. I'm going to head for the stats. West Tigers have lost each of their last 12 night matches outside of Sydney. 6 of St. George Illawarra's last 7 interstate matches have gone under the total match point line. In each of St. George Illawarra's last 4 matches at Suncorp Stadium, the opposition's starting right centre has scored at least 1 try. And Valentine Holmes has scored at least 1 try in each of his last 7 interstate appearances. I'm going really simple for this one, guys. This is a bit of a long shot bet, but it's rugby league. It's simple and anything can happen. I'm going Jaden Sewer anytime, and I'm looking at unders. So, you know, I like that one. It's a little bit outlandish because I don't think Jaden Sewer has scored a try this season, but it's just that right amount of outlandishness you need for Magic Round. Okay, it's Magic Round, and you kind of want to dabble with the wild stuff, all right? You don't want to just take conservative bets. So, Titans versus Bulldogs. Canterbury has lost 14, and this is a really cool stat, guys. This is a really cool stat. I don't know if it really applies to today's day and age, the season we're having, but Canterbury Bulldogs have lost 14 of their last 15 matches at Suncorp Stadium, and we were only just proved that last weekend, man. So, yeah. Each of Canterbury's last 4 matches at Suncorp Stadium have gone over the total match points line, and the favourite has won the first half in each of the last 9 matches between Gold Coast and Canterbury. So, you know, Bulldogs win the first half in that. I'm going Jojo at any time, Sherry at any time, and the Dogs win the first half. Nice simple one, nice easy one, guys. Pretty conservative on that one. Penrith versus Broncos stats. Penrith has won 8 of their last 9 matches against Brisbane. Each of the last 6 matches between Penrith and Brisbane at Suncorp Stadium have gone under the total match points, and Penrith have won the first half in 5 of its last 6 matches against an underdog. All right. The only stat I'd really take into consideration here, me personally, is that the game will probably look at unders. The other 2 stats there is probably from when Penrith were Titans, and it was hard to beat them. My multi for this one, okay, this multi here is the definition of Magic Round. It is the definition of hoping, you know, praying that something magical happens, okay? This is my magic bet, all right? This is the magic bet of the round. I am going Isaiah Papali'i any time and Scott Sorensen at any time, all right? 2 Penrith players pushing their way over. Bring me my money, all right? But also, you could swap out Scott Sorensen for a Broncos player to score at any time because it's Suncorp and that. And I think we might do that. So I think, you know, give me Isaiah Papali'i any time. I'm changing this right now. I'm changing this. Isaiah Papali'i at any time and Patrick Carrigan at any time because it's Suncorp and that. And it's Magic Round. Last but not least, last game of the round, guys. Not too many stats in this one. Not too much to say. But I've got Canterbury has won 6 of its last 8 matches as an underdog, and each of Melbourne's last 4 matches at Suncorp Stadium have gone over the total match points line. So, 2 pretty simple stock standard stats. My multi for this one, I'm going with Timoko at any time. Okay. They just seem to be conceding tries on that centre edge. So I'm taking Timoko at any time, and I've just you know, thrown the line out there and see what comes back. I'm going with Suafa'alongo at any time. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the picks. That's the bets and the multis for this week. You know, we did it. We had a bit of a tough time getting some of them stats out, bit of tongue twisters here and there, and left, right, and everywhere. But yeah, that's our bets, guys. That's what we're betting on. That's where the money's headed this weekend. And if you want to support and follow Fight and Field Insights, guys, and Punters Playbook, you know, jot these down and put them into your bet slip. Chuck $1 on them and see how you go. So it's that time of the episode where we jump onto the board. All right, we come over here. We look at some stats. We look at some things that are looking good. We look at cash cows, locks, and long shots. All right, we've upgraded boards, right? If you watched round recap and fight IQ, you know we've upgraded boards. Okay, so we've got a lot more room for activities. Look at all this blank space out here. More stats in that, right? Cash cows. Parramatta, $2.65. Warriors, $2.05. Dragons, $2. Canberra, $2.65. Penrith, $2.40. All right, they are teams that I'm fairly certain can get a win. They're put down as underdogs, but let's face it, there is a good chance that they can get it done. Headed down to the UFC. For cash cows, I've got Renner de Ritter at $3.40. Davison Figueiredo, $4.20. And Daniel Marcos at $2.65. All right, so all three of these I think are in the realm of possibility. Davison Figueiredo being $4.20 is criminal. All right, and we'll get to that because we'll talk about a little bit of UFC at the end of the video. Renner de Ritter being $3.40. I think he's got a bit of a Dricus Duplessis style, and anything can happen when that guy's fighting. All right. Locks. These are the people that probably aren't going to make you all that money, but they're a safe pick. The doggies at $1.24. Right. The Bulldogs. $1.24 and that. Storm, $1.48. Storm, they live in this bracket. We know this is where the Storm lives. And the Broncos are back after a bit of a hiatus. $1.58 for the Broncos. And the Roosters slash the Dolphins, because they're both a pick 'em. I've slid them both in there as locks. So, I mean, that kind of contradicts it, but you can pick either of them being a lock. Because, it's pick 'em in that. Headed down to UFC, we've got Mason Jones at $1.16. Corey Sandhagen at $1.24. Artem Bekov at $1.25, and then Bo Nickel at $1.32. So, they're probably going to win. So bet on them. Long shots, Titans at $4.10. All right. What I say every time the Titans come up on this board, all right, it's the unpredictable nature of the Titans. $4.10. That's my rule. When anything goes over $3.50, we jump on it, all right? So $4.10, that'll be making its way into my bet slip. The Knights at $2.15, that's probably the lowest amount of money we put in to a long shot, but it's the Knights. Ryan Loader at $4. Dante Mays and Jeremy Stevens, $4.40, $3, and $4 for Ryan Loader. So that's cash cows, long shots, and locks. Take from that what you will, guys. We got some really good cash cows this week, especially down in the UFC with Davison Figueiredo. All right, there's some really good cash cows in there. On to try scorers. If you don't know, we pick one try scorer from each team. We look at the best value for scoring, okay, for one, because it's easy to pick someone who's paying $10 who's not going to score, all right? We pick the best value who's going to score and what's paying the most reasonable amount of money for knowing they're going to score. So, Iro, $2.35. It's his first game back. He's back in the centres. He scores tries, all right? So we got him in there. Addo Carr at $2. If a winger goes over $2, I don't care if it's 1.99999, all right? That's basically $2. I'm going to jump on it. Jack Avarillo, $3.15. There was an Avarillo stat in there that made me think, he's worthy to be in there, okay? He scores tries. He's been scoring tries this season. He's pretty quick. Robert Toy at $3.15. I just got a bit of a sneaking suspicion that he's going to get a try this week, and Billy Smith was on the board last week, so don't want to keep putting Billy Smith up here. Jai Gray at $2.40. He's back at fullback, and there is a good opportunity he scores a try. Greg Marju, $2.10. You know the winger stat, guys. If it goes over, we're putting him up. Rocco Berry, $3.55. I like the stat about him scoring against Cowboys. $3.55. That's great odds. Scott Drinkwater, $2.50. Scores tries. We know that, all right? And there was a bit of a stat in there. Dewey, there was a stat in there for a Dewey as well. $3.15. Oh, yeah. It was the one. Dewey, scoring tries, $3.15. Get him on there. Jaden Sewer. Sewer bet, baby. Magic round bet in that. $4.20. Bronson Sherry, $2.20. Campiera at $2.20. I like that. Tony Staggs at $2.60, and I like that. Alamotti, he's a winger, $2.10. I like that. Timoko, $3.25. Scoring tries on that centre edge that Melbourne continue to concede them. I like that. And Isaiah Katoa, $2.65. So, Come on, guys. That's try scorers for the week. That's who I think is probably going to score tries. That's who I think is probably going to push their way over the line. All right. So, there's a bit of good value in there. I think the best ones, honestly, I'm looking down the barrel of a Timoko. It's Magic Round. I can't look past Jaden Sewer. The Sewer bet. Rocco Berry, I think, is great odds. And Avarilla, I really like as well. So there's some really good paying ones. But we got a few wingers in here that are going over. Campiera, Alamoti, Adokar, Marju, right? So there's a few wingers in there that are going over that $2 price mark. So yeah, we like that. On to everyone's favourite segment. Cheeky Little Pony, guys. Cheeky Little Pony. It's everyone's favourite segment. It's what we all love to see. Cheeky Little Pony. Last week's Cheeky Little Pony didn't look too good. Last week's Cheeky Little Pony ran 4th or 3rd, right? So we didn't win, but we placed. Right? We placed. I can't even remember his name. I remember the first one was Need Some Luck. Ned's Gully. Need Some Luck was the first winner. Ned's Gully unfortunately didn't get up. He might have been a little bit too much of an underdog. But this week, we've headed back, not back anywhere, we've gone to Claufield. Race 4, Claufield Race 4. King of Enterprise. He's horse 5. And, I don't know. I just got a sneaking suspicion about this one. Bit of a inside scoop, if you will, okay? I'm in contact with some of the trainers of King of Enterprise, and they're just saying some good things, all right? They're saying that there's a lot of good signs coming out of this horse. You know, he's a bit of a crafty vet, all right? He's got a few years behind him. He knows what he's doing, and he's the King of Enterprise, okay? He's jumped a few winners in his day. This is all bullshit. Don't take any of this to heart. But yeah, King of Enterprise, race 4, number 5. He's horse 5. It's Claufield, and it's racing at it's 2 o'clock. It's racing at 2 o'clock. 1:55. So if you're around at 1:55, you've got time. You got time to kill to watch a horse. Put $5 on it. See how it goes for you. He's paying $5, guys. Probably should have mentioned that. Oh my god, I thought I knocked down the board. So yeah, that's this week's Cheeky Little Pony. All right. I don't think I have much else to say. The UFC is looking a little bit daunting this week, so I won't do a total deep dive in there. If you want to see who I'm picking to win and lose, just check out Fight IQ this week. But yeah, not too much going on with the UFC. We've got a big one next week, so Punters Playbook will probably be a pretty big one, pretty decent sized one. And I think that's all I've got, guys, for this week's episode of Punters Playbook. Yeah. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Yeah. Johnny Gray, please reach out.